Panic time. 100% utter panic on Tyreek Hill. There's more going on than they're telling us. Proof by the report right before kickoff that I started ranting and raving about. This report that the torn ligament in Tyreek Hill's wrist was potentially aggravated during that week 1 arrest debacle situation. And we don't even know anything about half of this stuff. And Tyreek, the wonderfully good decision maker that he is, decides after he scores his touchdown and has a relatively salvageable game for sure. Scoring a touchdown was nice. He didn't do very much in this game at all. More proof that there's something greater going on. This guy's bad decision making. He jumps up and does this orchestrated touchdown celebration where he puts both of his wrists at jeopardy when they lay each other out WWE style, and he's got to fall from a very, very high position down onto his back onto both of his wrists. Utter panic. Now, do we trade him in every single scenario? We might not be able to. We might need to hold him. Are we buying him low? I don't know. I guess everything's case by case. The truth of the matter is I'm digesting it live as you are. And all I can think about right now is we should have seen something by now. Remember that he is Ziggy, volume 10. Ziggy, how old is Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill is 30 years old and was born on March 1st, 1994.
Some receivers can last until 33, 32. Sometimes these quick twitch hamstring, you hear the phrase every couple years. There's somebody who's very fast that they say his hamstrings are paper thin. His hamstrings are paper thin. This happens to speedsters because they fire off their legs and muscles differently than you and I or any other player. I'm just saying, I don't know what in the hell's going on, but we should have seen something by now. That touchdown was lucky. He was near the end zone. He caught it. He was sitting right there. It's not like he made a move. This guy's unguardable. This guy's unguardable. The Tyreek Hill we know is virtually unguardable. How is he not open somewhere throughout the game? How is he not doing something? That makes me think there's something greater going on. And would we be told about it? Hell no. No one tells the sports world anything because we don't matter. Remember, we don't matter. Oh, it's just they're worried about winning games, not about your fantasy football, not about your DFS, not about your bets and all that you're doing. Why? When we're the reason you get paid what you get paid. We don't get told anything. But there's something going on here because there's no way this unguardable player is continued to not get game scripted into the game. Tua's been back now. This is not his first game back. What is going on? The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
There's a lot to break down here. And I know some of you, and I see your comments. I see you don't think I see your comments. Smitty, open your eyes. This comment here from Connor. Connor, open your eyes, Smitty. Open your eyes. It's Tua. Tua's garbage. It doesn't matter, Connor. This situation is what it is. He's on borrowed time. It doesn't matter. Tua Tagovailoa can be bad. He can be good. He can be whatever. But what in the hell do you do when you have Tua as your option, as your best option, and Tyreek Hill potentially in his last elite year possible? This guy is going to potentially fall off a cliff. I'm not saying drop him. I'm not saying get rid of him for pennies on the dollar. I'm not saying don't even go acquire him from a Panic Peter that's selling him for a low-end wide receiver 3. But the fact is he's not producing. The fact is Tua's back. The fact is, Connor, he has played well with Tua in the past, Connor. He does amazing with Tua, Connor. So the fact that he hasn't returned to form doesn't matter how bad Tua is. Tua's all he's got. And that's all. Nothing's going to change by the time Tyreek Hill falls off age-wise, Connor. He's not getting back onto the field with another quarterback and rejuvenating his career. He's 30 years old. Ziggy just told you. There's nothing here. There's nothing. If you can sell him, you have to. And even if we're wrong, we've waited ample amount of time to see him bounce back, and we haven't seen it. At this point, it's reckless to wait. It's reckless to wait at all. Get Justin Fields to Miami. The trade, you can't trade anymore in the NFL. Connor, pay attention. Then you got this horrible decision by Tyreek Hill. Not to say that there wasn't a total abuse of power going on. This is a dual situation here. Okay, I don't want to get into the technicalities of who was wrong, who was right. Of course, there was an abuse of power in this situation. But Tyreek Hill put himself further in this situation to try and prove a point and stand on principle, whatever. And he got his hands cuffed, and they set him down. And it sucks because he aggravated, according to this report, the torn ligament in his wrist, re-aggravated it. This didn't cause the injury on the onset. This re-aggravated it. And then we don't hear anything about it. We don't hear any. We knew there's something wrong with Tyreek Hill. And there still is. There still is. There's definitely something wrong. We got $100. We got $100 hauler here from Williams, dropping a wad. Smitty, you know my team. Let me run it by you again. I've made a lot of trades, 36 in total. My team, my league hates me, and I have Jackson, Lamar Jackson, Saquon, Kamara, Jamar Chase, JJ, Henry, Amon-Ra, Nico. I don't know if that's Derrick Henry in your flex or whatever that is. Is that Hunter Henry or is that Derrick Henry? Is that okay, Amon-Ra, Nico, Bijan, Flowers. You're playing in a grandma league and you're dominating the hell out of them. Evans got offered CMC and Ridley for HN and JJ. Got offered CMC and Ridley. I would take HN and JJ, and I wouldn't even hesitate on that side. Like, there's not even a... Look, JJ and CMC, that's really an even maybe debate if you believe in CMC. And I'm not saying I don't, but not enough. I don't believe in CMC staying healthy. It's not that I don't believe he could do it one game at a time, but I don't believe in CMC enough to trade JJ straight up for him, let alone this. This is not even something I'm even remotely considering. If it's me getting CMC, got offered CMC and Ridley for HN and JJ. HN's fine. HN's fantastic. HN looked great tonight. It's just a matter of usage. Thank you very much for your super chat. And I think you followed up with a $50 hauler on top of that. And Williams also said Derrick Henry and Kittle. Forgot to mention Kittle. Well, you're smashing this nursing home to death with this league, this 4-man great grandma league. And honestly, I think just touching your team at all would do you a disservice. This team is absolutely phenomenal, and you're gonna crush them. Thank you for the $150 hauler right there. You get the shout out that everybody's been waiting to hear for a little bit now. The Denny $50 hauler.
$50. $50 hauler. Get by the brother, Smitty. Give me $50. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know, what better timing than when we play the Denny $50 hauler? The man himself calls in. Can you please thank Williams for the $150 hauler? That Williams just super chatted $150, Denny. Williams, can you give Williams a proper live $50 hauler celebration? Go. $150 hauler. $150. Go.
Wow. Williams, I don't know who you are, but you love Smitty, and you know that he is fixable. And Jay, you know Smitty, fixable, and you check, and then he lost his last one because
Hey,
Because
Denny, can I get a $100 hauler? I'm going to make a new one for $100 haulers and above. So give me a fresh $100 hauler. Give us something fresh, something new, something we couldn't even imagine you saying. Go.
$100 holla, $100. You just gave Smitty $100 holla. You are the man. Everybody loves you except for that girl that you were in high school. You. All right, how'd I do?
Oh, bro. That's pretty good, Denny. All right, Denny. Yes, of course I'm sick. All right, Denny. Can you mute while I just finish this? Just like seriously mute. Don't pretend to mute. And that way I want him to hang up on you. But I got to get through this intro, and then we're gonna go for it. All right. So mute yourself.
I won't. I'll do a real mute.
A real mute, not a fake mute. All right.
All right. Okay, sweetie.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Williams, for dropping the double, the $100 hauler, the $50 hauler back to back. That's freaking phenomenal. You're amazing. We've got a couple $20 haulers. Daniel, let me hit that one for you, Daniel. Daniel to the mother freaking moon with the 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 for Daniel. $20 hauler for Dallas. Appreciate Dallas dropping the $20 hauler. The double sitting right there. Let's see here. Daniel says, you are late. No excuses. LOL. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Who would you trade Tyreek Hill away for? Any good 2-for-1s? I don't know right now. Neighbors. I'd take Neighbors straight up. I'd take DK injured. I'd take Evans injured. You know, those are the players people are like, oh my God, they're injured still maybe. You try for Nico. You'd have to give up something else. Monty straight up for an RB. You could give him up for Tracy and a piece. You could go for Chuba Hubbard straight up. You could go for Laporta and something if you wanted a tight end. You could go after H.N. Gibbs, Breece Hall, and some bigger deal. You could go after MHJ and something. I mean, look, some of these cases I wouldn't necessarily trade Tyreek Hill straight up. I'd try and get more. But, you know, those are ones to start, my broski. That's how I'd kick it off, at least, going after those players. All right, let me see if I got any. Your boy Smitty's really trying to push through this thing, and it's not getting better because I'm pushing my limits. Who's first place for 10-week weekly winners leaderboard? I don't know. Is it you? Is that what you're saying it for? If so, you only dropped a $1.99 hauler, so I doubt it. Because you probably come in celebrating a little more than that if you're winning 20K. I will take Cedric Tillman over Tyreek Hill rest of season, says Kevin. I don't really blame Kevin and Kevin's stance, to be honest with you. And Young says need 25 from HN. Needed 25 from HN Cup and got 25. So painful. You need 26, I'm sorry, and you only got 25. I hate that. Trade away Hill and D-Hop Goddard for a big wide receiver. Yeah, but be careful. I'd almost go away from D-Hop, and D-Hop's a big wide receiver himself, and I'm kind of tempted to hang on to him. Just traded Lamb, Hall for Reed and Jacobs. I don't think I would have done that. I think you sold Hall way too low. I would not lump Hall into the panic chamber levels that we have Lamb and Tyreek Hill in. Hall is not a panic player for me at all. NFL fan is mistreated. We are what makes this league. And Matt, that's what I'm trying to say. The sports betting community, specifically the fantasy football community, is we're outcast still. When we're the reason they get paid double what they should get paid. Tyreek and Mike McDaniel already said they don't care about fantasy multiple times. And Marcus, they're proving that. Tyreek Hill does. Tyreek Hill says, start me this week. He does a lot of that stuff, so I don't know. All right, I got a few more super chats I'm going to get to. Let me just get to this game real quick. and break down the fantasy implications and the stats. Tua Tagovailoa, 1 INT, 1 TD, 207, 20 of 28. Achane, 12 carries for 37 yards, no touchdowns on the ground. Tyreek Hill had the 2 carries for 11 yards. We had Jalen Waddle leading the Dolphins in receiving yards with 3 catches, 57 yards. Jonnu Smith, 3 for 45. Raheem Mostert, 2 for 34. Odell, 2 for 17. Looks like, was it Isaac or whoever was trying to decide between Jonnu and Odell? Looks like Jonnu did him well. Pretty decent day for Jonnu considering. Malik Washington was the one that got the rushing touchdown up here. Also pulled in 1 pass for 17 yards. Tyreek Hill, 3 receptions for 16 yards. Looks like dog water. One of those catches, pardon me, happened to be his touchdown grab, which salvaged his day. But there's something going on with Tyreek Hill. It's either he's dropped off, and that happens with speedy wide receivers. They can sometimes have a quicker fall off than other players because of the way they fire off their hamstrings, the way their quick twitch, everything. They use 100% of the thrust this guy has when he's firing off and running from 0 to 60 is different than other receivers. The way he uses his muscles is different. And you know, another part that really bothers me about Tyreek Hill, and I've been talking about this for a little while now, is how much he does in the offseason unnecessarily. Like going out and doing these wide receiver camps, plays DB, puts his body through probably a quarter of a full season by going out there and just firing off his hamstrings over and over and over and over again. At the ripe age of 30, he has no business going out there and playing defensive back in camps and just racing anybody that will race him, firing off his muscles anytime he can. He's getting older. And so, Debo's another one. Tyreek for Debo. I'd do that. I'd trade Tyreek Hill for Debo in a millisecond. Debo's probably the best target for Tyreek, given that Debo's disappointed. The last 2 games he's disappointed. He's been getting banged up. He had a bye week, came back, didn't really have the game he should have had. People are pissed off. I definitely take Debo over Tyreek Hill. That's probably my number 1 target. I think Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp are also very good targets for Tyreek Hill. If you have Tyreek Hill and you want to trade him away for 1 wide receiver. Achane, 37 yards receiving. Achane only had 15 yards receiving, but he did have 5 receptions. So he comes away with this one with a pretty decent 10-plus points in a very bad game. I can live with that. If Achane gets me 10 double-digit points in his worst game, that's fine. You're not going to have a big game every single week. The more important part and storyline here for Achane owners and Tyreek Hill owners is that this team won. And so they've got something to fight for at least. And I'm not saying things look great for them, but they know they got to win out. And so every game they win is positive in terms of them putting everything out there, playing their players, not packing it in early, not Tyreek getting a little hamstring soreness and sitting out weeks 15, 16, 17. Like, we don't know if that'll still happen because they only have 3, we gotta be careful not to get overly enthusiastic about this situation. But I think that this is a positive, that Achane and his team won and they're marching closer to a goal of theirs, and they're not packing it in early. But it still wasn't a great fantasy day by any means on the Dolphins side of the football, the entire side of the football. And the same can be said on this Rams side of the football. Stafford, 293, 0 touchdowns, 1 INT. Kyren Williams was wide open for a touchdown, did not connect, which was absolutely disappointing. Kyren looked fantastic on the ground. He got a lot of tough yards that drugged this average down to 4.1, but he did make some amazing runs, ripped off a string of runs right before the half. 15 carries for 62 yards. Kyren also pulled in, like Achane, 5 receptions, so that 5 PPR points really, really helped. But like Achane had, the 15 yards? Kyren had 20. So 5 for 20. That's 7 points, though, in PPR. It's pretty solid to throw against 6 points up at the top of the screen here. So decent day, not great, but not horrible. Anytime you're getting above 10 points, it is what it is. Puka Nacua, 9 for 98. Great day. Obviously, 9 catches for 98 yards. That's a good day. That's a really good day. But I think he still disappointed his owners who they're wanting more from Puka. I'm not saying they'll sell cheap on this, but this game didn't make him untouchable. If the trade window was open because the Puka Nacua owner is losing and they need to make moves, this game won't keep them from trading him, essentially. If it was a 2-3 touchdown game like Jamar Chase's big game, no one's trading Jamar Chase at that point. Cooper Kupp, 7 for 80, same thing. Not a horrible day, but it's not a game that prevents anybody from trading said player. Takeaways from this is it was just a bad game. It was a bad scripted game from top to bottom. Sometimes two teams match up in a way that's frustrating. I think the Rams are very capable of bouncing back from this affair and having a much different result next game. I'm not overly concerned about anything on either side of the football from a fantasy perspective. Looking forward, I'm not running from Kyron. I'm not running from Achane. I'm not running from anybody but Tyreek Hill. I mean, we're not invested. Obviously, Puka and Kupp are fine. Kyron fine. Achane fine. Waddle looked okay. I'm not running from Waddle, but I'm not also running toward Waddle. Jonnu Smith is solid. Tua, I don't trust him in fantasy. Depends on your situation, how deep your league is. But Tyreek Hill, I want nothing to do with Tyreek Hill. I could live to regret this if he bounces back next week and he just needs more time. There could be something else that they're not telling us. Maybe he's struggling with a hamstring injury and we get told, okay, he's actually healthy from it. Then we can circle back and kind of say, well, now that we have all the full information, I feel more comfortable with him. But we've had a lot of time to adjust and adapt. We've had a lot of time to give him, a little bit of leeway. And the fact that he's not even being utilized makes me question Miami Mike McDaniel as a head coach, makes me question, and I don't think he's incapable of designing plays for him. So what else is going on? Can Tyreek not get downfield? I watched him run around, but he didn't look the same. He wasn't wide open. I don't know. It's crazy when you think about it. All right, Denny, I'm going to go back to Denny real quick, and then I'm going to hit the super chats. Denny, what else did you want to add? Did you watch the game, Denny, or did you not watch the game? You're on mute, Denny.
Well, I just thought.
You're on mute, brah.
What?
I was just listening to that last dude. Who the hell that guy is? But,
What?
so I watched it again. When
Good take, Denny.
Well, that dude, I don't know.
Good take, Denny. All right, Denny, you're like what's the guy that they go to for all the to discuss all the rules of the game whenever there's like where's his foot on the line and they go to him. What's that guy's name? What the hell's his name? What's his name? That's like Denny. I need to just go to Denny for clarification. Denny adds a great point like he just added, and then we move on and just keep Denny like on the side. What's his name?
I can't believe that Smitty jocks me. I jock the Smitty sometimes I call Smitty just answers the phone.
Saratori?
Like,
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, Saratori, is that him?
But I'm not sure who this last guy is. Kind of like
All right, Denny, hang tight. Catch your breath. Put yourself back on mute. I'll be back in a minute. Hang tight. Keep listening to the show. I think you're, make sure you're okay. I don't know. It sounds like you're having a seizure there. Appreciate you. Hang tight. Forgot to put my team. I'm 6-4 in the chat. Okay, 6-4. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's pull up this super chat here. You're 6-4, 10-team league. My squad, wide receivers, Puka, Dell, Mooney, Worthy, Waddle, Tillman, Evans, Higgins. Running backs are Bijan, Tracy, Connor, Walker. Nice squad. I like the team a lot. 10-man league. Who should you get for the rest of the season? As far as like a trade, I don't think I'm touching Puka. I'm leaving Puka be. Would I try and move like Higgins and Mooney and Dell and Tillman and you got Evans on an IR though, actually. You know what? Hang tight. Higgins, Waddle, and Mooney are movable here. Bijan, don't move Bijan. Connor, I would probably say if you can move Connor, and I love Connor, but he does get hurt a lot. I wouldn't mind selling Connor kind of high because people respect the hell out of Connor, as they should. Connor and Higgins, Connor and Waddle, Connor and Mooney for one Hall, Gibbs, Kamara, JT type of player. And if you got to throw in an extra player, make this a Dell Mooney or a Higgins Mooney and Connor, or I'd probably try and keep Walker. I'd trade B-Rob Jr. Would I go after a wide receiver? Sure. Because you got Walker, you can do that too. You could go after JJ. You could go after Lamb if you want to take a gamble on Lamb. You know, even as crazy as it is, a Tyreek Hill and a smaller move is good for that team. Like I said earlier, like would I buy Lamb? Would I buy Tyreek right now? Even though they're both very panic chamber players? Absolutely. I'll buy anybody. Low, dirt cheap seller dweller. Yeah. Would I sell anybody? Would I sell Bijan right now? It'd be hard for me to sell Bijan right now. But would I do it if someone came along and said, I'll give you Kyron and I'll give you Debo Samuel? You know, then yeah, I'm gonna make that trade. But Kraft or Hawkinson rest of season full PPR. I'm gonna probably say Hawkinson right now. He looks like he's getting going, which is fantastic to see. They're utilizing him a lot. He's going to get a lot of targets. D-Hop for Mahomes in a super flex. You can't trade. If you can't pass up the opportunity to get Mahomes in a super flex, that is crazy that someone's going to give you Mahomes for D-Hop in a super flex. It's not even close, bro. It's not even remotely close. DJ, appreciate your super chat. Should I trade my Devontae Smith and Mostert for Debo and Madison? I'd take Debo. I just think Debo's a fantastic player. Go forward. I'll buy him in every league. I don't care if he's disappointed. Denny, mute yourself if you could, please. 7-3 reception. 7-3 record. 12-man keeper league. Should you trade my Devontae Smith Mostert? Oh, I just answered that one. I don't know why I repeated for me. 6-4 PPR. Josh Allen, Connor, Brees, CD, JJ, McBride, Debo. Denny, mute, please. Really mute. For real mute. Not fake mute. Nico, D-Hop, London, 2-for-1s for McBride. I don't know if 2-for-1. I like the squad a lot. JJ, CD on this team, like you got JJ, McBride, Debo. This is a great team. Yeah, but I think you do need to get into an RB or two upgrade potentially because of the depth. I don't know. James Conner and D-Hop, James Conner and potentially, I mean, you could do Conner and Lamb. And just upgrade into a player like Jamar Chase, or potentially go after Bijan, go after Kyron on the cheap right now. I say cheap because no one's going to be an idiot about it, but I bet you anything he's vulnerable if the owner that has Kyron is kind of in some sort of panic, whether it's perceived panic, like maybe they got 6 wins and they're freaking out over nothing, or 5 wins and they're still freaking out like, oh, what if I don't make the playoffs? There are people that over panic. Like, there's a way to do that. I think Bijan would be great. I think Kyron would be great. Achane would be great. Gibbs would be fantastic. Gibbs is a top 5 running back going forward. Any moves? Hurts, AJB, Tyreek, Debo, Achane, Chase Brown, Kraft, Jennings, Kincaid, Bucky, Mason, Thielen. I like the squad a lot. I am trying to get rid of Tyreek here. Chase Brown's phenomenal, bro. Chase Brown, Achane. I love the running backs. I love AJB, Debo, Hurts. Everything's fantastic about this team. I'd be very tempted to try and use Bucky's value, even though I like Bucky and Tyreek, and you go try and get a Hall, Gibbs, Kyron, Achane, Kamara, JT. Okay, those are the running backs. Obviously, you're gonna try and pick up. You got AJB and Tyreek. So you could go Tyreek for Lamb. You could go Tyreek for Neighbors. I like both those moves, Alec. I got a video on Neighbors that drops tomorrow. What do you do with Neighbors? Do you buy him? Do you sell him? Do you hold him? Just like my Lamb format. We're going to do this with a lot of players going forward. individual videos on players, little quick hits, little talks with Smitty. Prayers up for my last week loss by 3 when my defense scored -3. This week was down 28 with Kyron and Achan left on Monday, still lost. Jeez, Hernandez, you've had a rough go, my guy. A rough go. Absolute rough go. Somehow Denny's calling me on the line here. I've already got him on the line, but he's calling again. Denny, can you mute yourself for me, please? Okay, Denny hung up. Denny's having some technical difficulties. $20 holler from my boy. $20 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
All right, Denny, mute yourself, please. Clutch win this week, 5-5. Any suggestions on moves? Mahomes, CMC, Kamara, Connor, Cup, Dell, MHJ, JMO, Kincaid. Love the squad. I'm always tempted to do a Connor MHJ for one bigger monster, bro. Just one huge upgrade. JJ, Jamar Chase, Kyron, Achan, Gibbs would work. I love JMO. JMO's crafty. Keep JMO. Don't sell him. I don't think I'd sell him low. Would you rather trade Hall, Neighbors, McBride for Bijan Terry? Would you trade Hall, Neighbors, McBride for Bijan Terry? I'd rather have Hall, Neighbors, McBride. I love Bijan, bro, but Hall is still fantastic, and he's going to be a buy low this week like he was last week, and nothing's changed. But I do very much love Bijan, but McBride's a whole lot to give up. Traded Hall, Neighbors, and Reed for Achan and Nico. Hall, Neighbors, Reed. I could get behind either side on this. Really, really even. Also might be trading CD and Hopkins for AJB. That's a lot, bro. Hopkins is maybe below AJB, but how much? A CD Lamb, even a discounted CD Lamb? I think that might be too much. I don't mind the first one. The first one's very arguable, though. I don't think either one of you took the other one to the cleaners. Could I pair up Tyreek with one of Chase, Brown, Jennings, Tillman for a better wide receiver? You certainly could. I mean, I would be careful to include Chase Brown because of how much value he has. Like, you need to make sure you get the world for him. He's a top 15 to 20 overall player. Like, you trade Tyreek and Chase Brown, you better be getting JJ. You better be getting Jamar Chase. If you aren't, St. Brown, is St. Brown enough? Maybe not. I love St. Brown, but Chase Brown's playing out of his mind. Tyreek and Jennings, let's say that gets you a DK, a Debo, a Gibbs because people doubt him, a Hall, a Kyron, obviously. You throw all those names there. Kyron, JT, Tyreek for... I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm tempted to even say, like, James Conner. We could talk about trading Conner away, but maybe if I had Tyreek and I needed an RB, I would trade Tyreek for Conner straight up. Denny didn't want to hold again. Denny, call back if you want to stay on hold, but I got to get through these super chats, then I'll come for you, pal. I'll open the phone lines in a minute, too. Any moves? Maybe trade Tyreek in he keeps trying to call back in. Denny, just hang right there. Mute yourself, but hang right there. I'll be right with you. I've got a few super chats, and I want to be clear. All right, just mute yourself. Okay, I'll come back. I promise. Just hang right there. Any moves? Maybe trade Tyreek and for a running back one. No one's giving you a running back one for Tyreek right now. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you give up just a little bit though. JSN, he had a great day. I love JSN. They're going to use him more going forward. And Joku. Honestly, if I'm you, I'm keeping Barkley, Monty, unless I could upgrade Monty using something else into Gibbs, into Achan, into Kyron. I don't mind Barkley, Monty. I kind of want to get Tyreek turned into JJ, into maybe St. Brown. Maybe you're throwing in a JSN. I love D-Hop, though. I think D-Hop is a sneaky wide receiver 2 for you. Cup, wide receiver 1. Yeah, you could go RB, actually. Go Tyreek and JSN. Tyreek. And, I mean, you could look at Tyreek and D-Hop together for one RB, but, Tyreek and Monty for, like, Kyron and something, Achan and something, Hall and something, Gibbs and something, Kamara and something, JT and something, Trone. Do it live. I feel like you can pull that off. 7-man keeper. I trade Keon and a second round pick. I received Brian Robinson Jr. I thought that was Bijan. I don't know. I guess I don't care. Sean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like I don't care what side I'm on. I don't care about your question, but I don't know. This is like you kick me in the nuts, I'll kick you in the nuts. Who wins? I don't know. It's like almost a trade, Sean, that makes both teams worse. I guess I'd rather have Brian Robinson Jr. maybe, just because I don't know what's going on with Buffalo, and I like Keon a lot. No, let me have the Keon side. I'm gonna keep faith in Keon. Keon, do your worst. Kick away. I want Keon. Hill and Tracy for Tillman and Kyron. I would take Tillman and Kyron. That's a good one. That's a real good way to get out of the Tyreek game. Nico Swift to get Debo Kyron. Debo Kyron by a lot, bro. By a lot. Thank you for your super chat. TP 5-5. Mahomes, Cousins, Bijan, Acham, Monty, Mason, McLaurin, Dell, MHJ, Reed, Kincaid. Can't get everyone in the lineup. 4 running back max. Monty, Bijan, Achane. So Bijan and Achane, Mahomes. I try not to touch that, bro. Monty's expendable. Not, you don't give him away. MHJ, Reed. Yeah, I guess I would say let's try and upgrade Reed or MHJ. You know, by throwing them both together to go get a player, one top wide receiver. MHJ and Reed. Like, could MHJ and Reed get you a JJ right now? Maybe. I've seen a lot of people devalue JJ. I've seen a lot of people have come to me and said, hey, what are we doing about JJ? And it seems a little weird, like his value is low. I think Darnold scared him. I think the unraveling of Darnold has scared JJ owners to the point where that's a capable situation. Monty and Reed for Kyron, Monty and Reed for Achane, Gibbs, all those RBs that I keep throwing out there. I definitely don't mind upgrading Monty. And then, you know, you kind of risk it a little bit more at wide receiver than. But if you're trying to upgrade wide receiver, I would probably say like Reed and McLaurin could get you a JJ. MHJ and McLaurin could get you JJ. Maybe you ask for something else in return, but that could land you the receiver that you want. 12 team, 6-4, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, any moves. Kyron, Mixon. I love Kyron, Mixon. Kyler's fine. He's looking good again. Mixon and Kyron, you can't get better RBs than that. Amon-Ra, London, McLaurin. This is a fantastic team. The only thing you could look to do is maybe trade Rachaad White, B-Rob to upgrade, you know, maybe upgrade Kyler into Josh Allen or London into JJ or London into Chase. And I don't know that I would just, I'd give away London, White, B-Rob, London, DJ Moore, but I don't think you're going to find many sellers of a top 3 wide receiver. I think your team is pretty much a hold. I don't see anybody giving you the right deal, and any move you make, it just creates a new hole, even though you're plugging. I don't know, you don't even have a hole, but like you're upgrading something, you're just downgrading something else. I don't know that Brian Robinson Jr. and Rachaad White have enough firepower to upgrade London enough that it makes any sense. I don't. You could try for JJ. I would try it. You could try and upgrade Mixon into, if you even think it's an upgrade. Like, he's older. You could say, I'll give you Rachaad White. I'll give you Brian Robinson Jr. Or I'll give you DJ Moore, or give you 2 of those guys to upgrade Mixon into Bijan, into Jahmyr Gibbs. But some like Mixon more than Jahmyr Gibbs. And I can understand that, but I would definitely upgrade them into a safer vehicle. But your team is phenomenal. Like, people would kill to have that team. The team is absolutely lit. Smitty, here's a little something for your cough medicine. Feel better, bro. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you dropping the $20 hauler. All right, we're clear. Denny, you can come back for a few minutes. What is up, my guy? You're live. Hello?
You're on mute, brah.
Denny? Denny? You're on mute, Denny. Or you're asleep. I think he passed out. I think he passed out. Denny? Oh, sweet Denny. Young Prince, are you there? Young Prince, are you there?
Wanted. Smitty, can I just ask you one thing? Can we do karate in the garage?
Dead or alive.
The top most wanted outlaw.
Wanted.
Eric, he's calling in again. He's calling in. Denny, you're live. What's up, Denny?
Smitty?
Yeah, there, you're back. You're back loud and clear.
Thanks. You want to do karate in the garage?
I do. I would love to do karate in the garage. I'll see y'all back.
I don't even know anymore. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want
Just don't touch my drum set. Just don't touch my drum set. Let's answer this call here. Rock out. What can Denny and I do for you?
Hey, rock out.
Hey, you remember my struggling team? Now we won 4 in a row.
Attaboy. Nice.
Now we're 5-5.
Nice job. I knew you'd get there, bro.
It's on the penny.
That's without Evans and Higgins playing.
Attaboy. What else can I do for you there, Rock Out?
Hey, rock out. Hey, Tez.
You guys just called it. They just called to hang out. Anyhow, let me go over to Travis. Travis, you're live.
Travis from
Hello.
You know what I like about you, Travis?
Hello.
You call in and all you want to do is get
All right.
some answers.
Okay,
From
hold
my boy, Smitty.
hold on a second,
And
Denny.
I know you're down there.
All right, hold on a second. Go ahead real quick, Travis. Actually, Tyreek for Pacheco. No, that's not enough. Pacheco's not even back yet, so that's absolutely not the direction you want to go, bro. That's called panic. That's called like unacceptable panic. Panic time, sure, but you got to sell at the right price. Pacheco's not back yet at all. Like he's not even back. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Travis. Hold on, Denny. Go ahead, Travis.
How you doing, bro?
Good, Daddy. I was wondering, like, at this point in time, do you still just roll Hill out there, or would you start, like, a Jennings instead?
I still probably would.
Jennings go out 11 targets, but I feel like you still got to roll Hill out, right?
Yeah, over Jennings, yeah, but like, let's say you had a player like Mooney. I don't know. I think you have to really look at matchups. You'd have to have a conversation.
Mooney's been great.
Or a Chase Brown over. Of course, you're playing Chase Brown over Tyreek Hill now. So like a flex spot consideration like that. Another player like, what about Waddle and Hill? Like you're really strongly considering Waddle over Hill, but I don't know. I just think that.
That's what it is, huh? I thought it was you guys' friends and stuff.
All right, hang tight, Denny. Hang tight, real quick. I don't know. You just have to give me a case by case, question. I don't think there's a way to blanket statement that or answer.
Hopkins.
Oh, Hopkins is like a top 12 to 15 wide receiver. Like Hills doesn't come close to Hopkins.
Okay.
From.
Yeah.
Hopkins. Man,
I mean, like we're talking about
Hopkins.
we're talking about MHJ over Hill now. We're talking about handfuls of players over Hill until Hill proves himself. Like McBride, I'd take McBride over Hill right now, and at least my right now go forward. That could change. I'm hoping it changes, but.
So
is Travis the new guy? Is Travis the guy is Travis the guy that everyone loves? That no one loves Denny anymore?
Everyone loves you, Denny. You just gotta not interrupt every time. Like a good dose of Denny's good. This is what I get. You want honest feedback? This is what I get in the chat a lot. First of all, a lot of people love you, Denny, no matter what you do. They could be like, have Denny more, but there is a growing percentage that says a little Denny's great. Too much Denny's like overdosing on a great place you love to eat and you ruin it. So like maybe don't interrupt every comment. You know what I'm saying? And then it becomes Kramer. You know when Kramer got his own show? It failed. Kramer is the perfect side character,
Yeah.
Denny. Denny, you're Kramer. You're Kramer. But you do it as good as anybody. Like, there's no shame in that. You're the Kramer. I'm the Jerry. You're the Kramer. Travis is the George. You know, and we got, who do we got on the phone? We got Joe on the line right now. He's Elaine. Joe's Elaine. Let's go to Elaine right now. Elaine, you're live. You're live from Missouri. Elaine, what can I do for you?
Oh. Yes, sir. I was going to ask about Tyreek. I just traded for him with Flowers and Brian Robinson Jr. I was going to say next week, do you start Hill or do you start DK?
DK, easy. Easy.
Okay.
Not even
good.
close.
I also have Tua and Gino. Would you rock with Gino over Tua then?
What are the? I don't even have the matchups in front of me for next week. What are their matchups?
I'm pretty sure Tua's going against Las Vegas, the Raiders, and then Gino's going against San Francisco.
I mean, you gotta go Tua probably. Man.
Maybe Tua Gino or Tua DK and try to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's hedging your bets pretty well. But you could also try and get Hill into a flex spot, right? No, DK's your flex.
Yeah, I do. I have him in a flex spot because right now I have St. Brown, Wilson, and then my flex spot would either be Hill or DK.
Yeah, DK DK's playing, but we don't even know DK's status fully. But if DK's playing, he should be. He should be. He was on a bye. They rested him an extra week because they had the bye week, piggybacking off that return date. So they said let's go ahead and wait a week. I think he'll be fine. But you never know. I mean, these soft tissue injuries, injuries like hamstrings, groins, calf injuries, they're not set dates. You can't. That's why Nico didn't play. Hamstrings, they're not set dates. You can't say, oh, he's out 4 weeks. People don't understand that. I try and educate here, but like if you have a meniscus tear, there's still a little bit of wiggle room to it. But like you have certain time frames that are a little bit more exact with recoveries of different things. With these injuries, they have to go out there and test them. And you don't want to test them until the last second. So you really don't know. Like Christian McCaffrey, he wasn't out there working full go before this game. He couldn't risk that. He had to use every single hour that he had to his advantage of not re-injuring himself. And so you really kind of are running into the unknown a little bit. So DK, we don't know. DK has no clue probably if he's going to for sure be okay, but he probably feels like he's had the right amount of time. There's a certain window of muscle healing that takes place. And so, you injure a hammy, you injure a groin, you injure a calf. There is that window that gives you a proper window. You're rehabbing it too. You're not just sitting there on the couch and then, my 4 weeks is up. You're rehabbing it. Your physical therapist knows where you're at. They kind of have a good gauge of what's going on. They can do imaging and see if there's still any kind of damage. But you still could go out, fire off that hammy and be like, whoa, and set you back to ground zero. But I think DK is going to be a go, and I think DK is going to be a fantastic low-end wide receiver one go forward.
I do have Jackson Smith, so I might play him in case. Like, if he doesn't play, that's probably best case.
Oh, yeah, that's the best handcuff wide receivers are going to become more popular. I think next year we'll focus a lot on that. But handcuffing is a wonderful thing. When you have JSN and DK, I mean, what an amazing safeguard for yourself. DeMarcus Robinson and Cup, DeMarcus Robinson and Puka Nacua, that's fantastic. There are wide receiver cuff cases. London and Mooney, that's fantastic. You sometimes put yourself in a position where you're like, damn it, I don't know if I should play both of them, and then it kind of screws you from week to week. But better to have that problem than no backup. All right. Appreciate you, Joe. We'll see you later. Yeah, go ahead, Kramer.
My dad, when I was a kid, my dad used to tuck me in at night.
Yeah.
He used to say, okay, I got to get out of here because the monsters show up.
Okay. Thanks, Denny. All right, hold on 1 second. We'll come back. He hung up. I think he got mad. That or he's hanging up on accident. I don't know. Rob from New Jersey, you're live.
Smitty, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
First off, Myra,
I want to be in her league. She has Bijan, Derrick Henry, JJ, Jamar
Well,
Chase.
you can't be in Williams's league because it's a 3-man league probably. So there's only 2 other extra. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to get into that league.
That shit.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the
no.
best team I've ever heard.
If it is a 10, I forget if it's a 10-man or an 8-man. But yeah, I mean, part of it is, Williams watches this show, so
It's good.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Even if it's an 8-man, that's great.
The other thing
And-
I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
who would you rather have rest of the season, Hill or CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb. Because we got, think about it. Let's look at the risk involved with both players. We got Hill and we got Lamb. What are the red flags? Because red flags are everything. Red flag for Hill is injury. So you have injury for Hill. We don't have injury for Lamb. I mean, he had the shoulder, but I think we're out of the woods on that. Situation is actually horrible. So situation, but that's it. You don't have the injury red flag. So it's like at the end of the day, Hill's got 2 things you're worried about. You're worried about his situation being dog shit. You're worried about his injury, and then the situation and injury together lead to another red flag, which is that he could sit out weeks 15, 16, 17 to protect his frail body, 30-year-old body, that is no longer going to be able to do what he's doing years from now, so he has to be careful with it. Lamb Chops is a diva, so he also has this potential sit red flag, because if his situation's so garbage, equal to this,
And he just got paid.
yeah, he's like, man, I got to salvage my body. I'm gonna be hurt right now. So he has a similar flag. So you really could say there's 2 red flags for Lamb, 3 red flags for Tyreek Hill.
The thing with Lamb, real quick, too, I think Cooper Rush, he could be awful, but I think Vikings were a really tough first team to go up against. So if he settles in a little bit over the next couple weeks, I don't know what the schedule is, but they play the Eagles. Sorry about that. Yeah. But still, the Eagles' defense has been amazing, So that was a tough first matchup. He should be better against other teams. But obviously,
I'm nervous if I don't sell him now, I won't have a chance to sell him after if he busts this week.
Well, just to give people an idea of what Rush is capable of doing, this is 2022. 2022 in week number 2, Rush had 235 and 1. In weeks, let me screenshot this. Let's compare. Let's see what Lamb did during these exact games and compare them. So I'm going to put these on the screen here and let's throw them up. So this is going to be Cooper Rush. This is Cooper Rush during 2022. So let's throw that right there. Okay. So now let me go to CeeDee Lamb. So you could see he had 235 and 1, 215 and 1, no INTs. 223 and 2, no INTs. 102 and 0. And then I don't know what happened with these 2 games or whatever. But they were tough matchups, but at that time. Then he had 3 INTs his last game against Philly. So Philly has his number. That might be something we just discovered there. Philly might just know how to calm down the rush. That's an interesting thing. So there's that. Let me go.
It reminds me of Chase last year with Brown,
Well, we're hoping it reminds us of that, is what we're trying to say, right? I mean, we're hoping that there's so in 2022, during the same time frame. So let me make sure I have the right matchup. So Tampa Bay, Cincy. Okay, so it's the right year. This is CeeDee Lamb. And let's see how he did during these weeks 2 through 6, because this will be the clear indication of whether there's rapport there. How pissed off is Lamb going to be? Okay, so in week number 2, Lamb 75 yards. I didn't even capture the TDs, did I? The TD column. Damn it! Hold on. Let me scroll over a little bit. Recapture.
He scored 2. I think he scored 2.
Yeah, I know. I just want to compare it on the screen there. Hold on one second. Let me just put it on. So 2. Yeah. Appreciate that though. Let me see if I can put it on screen. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Let me get rid of this. All right, so 2 touchdowns is correct. Yes, that's good that he had 2 scores with Cooper Rush in a very small window of time. But week 2, 7 for 75. Week 3, 8 for 87 and 1. Week 4, 6 for 97 and 1. Week 5, 5 for 53. Then 5 for 58. Oh wait, week 6. Okay, so that's yeah. But then it's green lit on the targets. It's all double digits except for those 2 8-target games. But so we know he's going to target them. We know they have a good rapport. We know they have a good connection. I don't think Lamb Chops is going to score as many touchdowns. But that's kind of what I said. Lamb will be maybe the yardage guy still to a degree, but maybe less touchdown opportunities. So he's going to end up being, instead of wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, he could be like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He could float around in that territory. And even so, looking at this, wide receiver 8, wide receiver 8, wide receiver 41, wide receiver 24. So it does feel like he'd be between, I would say, 8 and 15 is where he'd probably float around. Which is not great when you think about it. To be wide receiver 8 is Lamb, but I mean, it could be better than this.
You can sell them on name value. You can sell them on name value and get really good return. Then yeah.
I'm trying to see if I would sell them for DK or Debo.
I'd take DK in a heartbeat.
Someone like McLaurin. Would you take McLaurin over Lamb?
I would take McLaurin over Lamb. I'd take. I don't know about Pickens. It's close. I think I would hope that Lamb could still produce enough. And there's some news today that the season-ending surgery is being held off on again, and that's coming from Jerry. Oh, wow. That's coming from Jerry himself. That they don't want to rule out a potential return yet. They're still doing a couple more lookovers. I think they're getting a couple. Second opinions usually lead to more bad news, though. Usually, because no doctor wants one reason for that is no doctor wants to be the one that goes against all the others, and then they end up looking like a fool. It's like, oh, he said you should have that. Okay, well, it just usually there's second opinions are more so like even if you find a doctor that says, you know what, I don't think that first or second diagnosis was correct. You're probably still going to get a second opinion on that to see if the majority of the opinions say one thing, because this comes down to longevity. You have a throwaway season here anyway. Like what doctor in their right mind is going to sit Dak down and go, well, if you let it heal and go back out there with a partially torn hamstring off of the bone, and the hamstring, it looks a little something like this. Here's the bone, and the hamstring has these different, 3 different pieces to it, and it's connecting. This doesn't look like a good graphic. We'll do strings. We'll do strings. So these basically one of these is not completely torn off. It's not completely torn off. It's definitely very badly torn off, but not completely. And I believe the other one might be slightly of the 3, slightly pulled or not completely off or anything. But so there's thought that if he just rests, that this thing will heal on its own. But the problem is this guy wants to be full go. He doesn't want to go out there and be, risking another season. And it's a throwaway season. If I was a doctor, I'd say, what in the hell are you thinking? There's nothing to play for.
Yeah.
There's nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, Jerry Jones is stubborn because he wants the best product on the field. So
yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Are you making a video on this?
I already did.
Or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you do.
Right,
I made a video. I made a video today on how to sell lamb. You're disrespecting the content, bro. It's up there. Hard work, sitting right there, waiting for your viewing pleasure.
I'm here on the live.
Let it tuck you in tonight. Let it tuck you in tonight. The CeeDee Lamb video's waiting for you, pal.
That's what I'm gonna watch. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Later. Appreciate you. Unsure Johnny, you're live on the air. Hey, where'd Denny go? Denny hung up all upset. Unsure Johnny, you're live.
Hey, how's it going, Smitty?
It's good. And this 217, does it change my mind that you have Hawkinson? I mean, I don't know the question anymore, bro. You gotta ask the question. No, I know. It's not you. Hold on. Would you trade Hall, Neighbors, McBride for Bijan Terry? Hall, Neighbors, McBride. Okay, so Bijan Terry because you have Hawkinson. Hall, Neighbors, McBride for Bijan Terry. I don't know. Maybe, I guess. Guys, would you rather have Bijan and Scary Terry? Or would you rather have Hall, Neighbors, and McBride if you already have Hawkinson on your team?
I'd go with Bijan. And I mean, Terry just plug him in 15 points a week minimum.
That's tough. That's tough, though.
Awesome.
I guess I would say... Yeah, I guess I would say if you've got Hawkinson, that does make a difference. It makes it so you can overpay a little bit, I guess. And then real quickly, unsure Johnny, I'm sorry, real quickly. Someone dropped DK in my league. Drop Hopkins to pick him up. I don't want to do that. Only other option is to drop Tua. My other QB's Mayfield, bye week, Herbert. My other QB's Mayfield, bye Herbert. Well, if you're covered, then I don't care about dropping Tua. If this is what you're saying. I'm dropping if you have 3 QBs, I'm dropping one of the QBs for him instantly. But I do not drop Hopkins. There's no way I drop Hopkins. If I got that wrong, Shelly, please let me know and I'll circle back and reassess it. But I think you're saying you have 3 QBs. Unsure Johnny, you're live. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, how's it going? I'm kind of trying to see, get your advice on how I could possibly, upgrade some holes in my team. I think
I got just a graphic for that.
My biggest concerns are.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my biggest concerns is DeAndre Swift and Dalton Kincaid on my team, but I'm trying to see how I could possibly move away from DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, no one's probably going to trade for Kincaid, to be honest. So you're either just going to hold him or I don't know.
I have Hunter Henry. I don't know how you feel about Hunter Henry.
I think he's steady. I think for sure. But I think what I'm trying to do with this combo, you could try. Maybe the person needs a tight end bad, but I would definitely look to acquire Puka. I'm not saying you're going to make this trade happen, but I'm just telling you, Puka, DK. Seems like DK's really cheap right now. Evans, Debo. If you need a running back,
so
Walker.
I just made the trade this past week before Thursday night started for Puka, Swift, and Pacheco.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Chase Brown and
I got you. It doesn't matter. Walker, Debo. I'm not saying what you're saying doesn't matter. I'm just saying if one of these guys is on your team, who cares? We're just gonna roll through it. So Debo, Evans, DK, Puka, Walker. I'm trying to trade these 2 to get a player like that. Other players that come to mind. I mean, you're not going to get a Nico. You're probably not going to get. I'm trying to think of an RB. You shoot for Hall. You shoot for those guys. You're not going to get it unless you throw something else in here. Let's say you have a JS.
Jennings.
A what?
Jennings.
Sure. I don't know what Jennings is going to really do for this trade, but maybe it does something. I don't know. But I definitely love the idea of trading Swift away. And honestly, Debo feels like the most affordable. DK and Debo feel like the most affordable assets right now that have wide receiver 1 value. Not even low end. They're middle to late range. Debo could be a number 9 wide receiver going forward. DK could be 11 or 10 going forward. I don't think they have to be 12 or 13.
Do you have any ideas of any running backs, though? I think if I were to trade away Swift, I'd lose, basically all my depth. I have, Achane, but behind that is just Warren and Jalen Wright. So,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I kind of need the RB trade.
Well, then I guess go after Walker, go after Tracy.
Some people still doubt Chuba.
Chuba, Tracy. Those are 2 really good players.
Do you think I could get it maybe I don't know who would trade straight up for Swift, but...
Not a lot of people right now. They would have a couple weeks ago when I was telling you to trade them, but I think maybe the RBs that come to mind... Let me see. I'll pull up if you go to thefantasyfootballshow.com, you can get your year-round rankings, bold predictions, and all that good stuff. And if I pull up the rankings on thefantasyfootballshow.com, I am going to see RBs that rank around Monty, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker. Probably not getting Alvin Kamara, probably not getting JT, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go down a little bit. Monty, Chuba, Jacobs is an interesting one. Connor, still running back one capable, man. I mean, he really is good. James Cook, bro. I wonder if you could. I mean, he's up and down, but that's the part that makes it. I think he's in the mix here. Got offered Swift for Waddle. Get rid of him. All right. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Got offered Swift for Waddle. Get rid of Waddle. So this is like the reverse of what we're talking about. Sega Man, I don't know if I missed this earlier. I'm sorry. Are you still here? I'd probably say this is pretty even. I almost don't want either one of them. I'd almost say, can you make a trade, whether it's making the trade and then executing it off of one of those players that we just named? I'd say whatever one could get you into the players that I just named, I would want that player to trade that player, but I don't really want either one. Andrew, the phone lines are open. Sure, dial in if you want, pal. All right, let's go to Denny, who's live and been very quiet since he rejoined the phone line. He's really earning his phone line privileges right now. Thank you, Sega Man. I appreciate you. I don't know if you can do that type of trade. I just don't like either one. I'd probably rather Waddle by. Well, I think Swift has more trade values. I think I'd try and trade Swift for one of those players, Debo, DK, Jacobs.
I'm not going to call him that.
What did I say?
All right.
What, Denny? Yeah, what, Denny?
I'm not going to call him Dad. Even if there's a fire, I'm not going to call him Dad.
You're not calling Dad?
Even if there's a fire.
You're not calling Dad?
No, I'm not going to call him Dad. Even if there's a fire.
Oh, okay. I got you. No problem, Denny. You do whatever you want.
I got to go to bed. Sweetie.
Go ahead, Denny.
Here's my two sleepers. J-Mo. All right? Put all you can in J-Mo. And the other one, Tank Down. That's how I feel about it. J-Mo and Tank Down.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Denny. Go to sleep now.
Smitty, always good to talk to you, man.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. All right, later.
Later.
That's the first time Denny's put himself to bed. He's normally just passes out. So Shelly said that Superflex League. Oh, Superflex. Did you say that on the first?
I was wondering.
Did you say that? I don't know if you said that the first.
I don't think so.
You can't drop a quarterback. You can't drop a quarterback in a Superflex. But Shelly, I still think there's got to be somebody else you can drop. If not, you make a trade. Like Hopkins can't be dropped. But I agree. You got to pick up. What was it, DK? You got to pick up DK, but you cannot drop Hopkins. You have to figure out something else.
There has to be someone on the roster besides that.
Yeah.
Drop the kicker for now.
Yeah, I'd almost go without a kicker. Like, I'm not sure I would, but I would consider it. I'd strongly consider it. I couldn't drop Hopkins. But you got to be able to make some sort of 2-for-1 trade. You have to be able to, I would think. Will is calling from the moon. Will, what can I do for you?
Hey, it's Smitty. So we made a number of moves all year. I've been really following the show.
Attaboy.
And I've gotten to a point where I'm starting to think I might have to ride out the squad. You know, I'm starting to feel really comfortable.
Tubular, bro.
Just got the fix for. Can we do a quick run through? Maybe see if you think this has the makings of a championship squad.
Do you surf, bro?
Maybe
do you surf?
Skateboarder.
I could tell you're a boarder, bro. But go ahead, hit me with the team.
Oh yeah.
Tubular.
Awesome, thanks, Smitty. I love the board in the back too.
Attaboy, yeah.
All right, so we got Hurts, Henry, Kenneth Walker, Debo, Mooney, Laporta, who we just bought low on.
Nice.
Because you said last week that his managers were a bit freaked out.
They were.
And then this is a move that you totally inspired. We got Hunt and I was able to trade for Pacheco on the low.
Okay.
To back him up.
I like that.
12-man league.
Okay.
12-man league. Worthy's on the bench. He's just for depth, a little disappointing. Is this the makings of the championship squad, or?
Let's see here. Walker, Henry, Hurts, Debo, Mooney, Laporta, 12-man Hunt. I'll be honest. I think it's one move away from, like, could it knock off one team at a time and then be the champion? Sure, I could definitely see it happening. Would I look at this, all these teams, and go, this is by far the best team in the league? I can tell. I don't know if I would say that without looking at it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, you're one move away. Like, maybe you trade Mooney. Who were these your wide receiver 3?
We also Quentin Johnson's kind of
yeah. So Mooney's pretty tradable right now. I wonder if you could trade the KC boys and Mooney for like one wide receiver, or you need to get a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Just go shopping. I mean, I don't know that you could get a JJ or something, but what if you could get a St. Brown? DK would be pretty intriguing right now. What if you could get DK using Pacheco and Hunt? I mean, maybe somebody would look. I mean, you should, honestly, this duo should get you a DK. I don't know if it will, but in my assessment, it should get you a DK. Evans would be great. DK would be great. You already got Debo, who's one of my buy lows that I love. Another wide receiver. It really is a receiver that I'm worried about for you. Puka, Cup, obviously I'd try and get both those guys. Neighbors would be interesting. And I've got my Neighbors video dropping tomorrow. I wonder if you could get Neighbors with Hunt and Pacheco. And one might argue that that's too much, but I think it's intriguing for your situation. I would also make sure you got Charbonnet. Do you have Charbonnet?
Yeah, we got Sharp and we got Hill, Justice Hill for Henry.
Yeah, and Evans, I said. McLaurin, I don't think you'll get McLaurin. I mean, Garrett Wilson's really cheap right now, too.
Keep an eye on Keaton.
I feel like one wide receiver upgrade. I completely agree. Just one wide receiver upgrade away. So I really like those targets you got.
Yeah, and Travis said keep an eye on Keaton Mitchell to cuff to your Henry. Because I think that Travis makes a good point. If you do end up getting rid of this Hunt-Pacheco combo, if you can secure up the backups to Henry and you got Sharps, then you're kind of covered. You don't really have any worries. All right, bro.
I agree. Thank you so much.
All right, later, bro.
Awesome. Keep it up. Thank you.
Can I ask you real quick on Mooney?
Yeah.
Smitty, how do you value him? Do you think he can keep this up? Because he's in full PPR. He's a wide receiver 8 right now. Like, he just
keep that up.
Very similar to McLaurin right now. How he just he had one big game with 30 points, but besides that, it's 14 or 15, 16 points every week.
I don't think he keeps up wide receiver 8, but I think he keeps up wide receiver 18, top 18 overall or something like that. I think of him more like Baker, in between Baker and Darnold. In terms of how everyone's like, Darnold's not going to stop. What do we do? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like Darnold's starting to unravel a little bit. Baker's not. Right. So like something in between there in terms of like our expectations been blown out of the water for Mooney. I mean, it really has. But is it something I see going level the whole season? I bet against it. But it doesn't mean it's going to fall off. It just means it's going to go down a little. And I think that you're probably going to see it. Keep in mind, like Carr. And I use the quarterbacks because it's the easiest thing to, like, highlight. Yeah. You got Carr, you had Baker, and you had Darnold. All three were going bonkers at the beginning of the year. Remember, there were people that were saying Carr is back. Carr's rejuvenated. Carr's absolutely exactly. Carr's trashed now. Darnold was untouchable in terms of people's, like, expectation. Like, he's going to continue. Look, stop doubting him. And I agree. I kind of started to go toward that direction. And I still feel like he could bounce back a little bit from this past week or the past couple weeks. But keep in mind that people coming out of nowhere that have already had time to prove it, there's a shot. Mooney, I always liked Mooney. That's why I think that this is a shot of being not the same level all the way, but like he'll drop a little bit or be inconsistent here or there. But just keep in mind that, Cousins, I'm not, knock on wood, I don't want him to get hurt or anything, but like a QB change or something could have a whole different value for him. It could be good or bad. Look at Downs and how that changes with quarter. There's so many things that could go differently. So
this may be the point, his high point in terms of ranking and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they face Denver, and then they have a bye, and then they face the Chargers. So 2 good defenses and a bye.
Like Smitty,
so
bet your life.
Cash in a little bit on them.
Like Smitty, bet your life on one side or the other, and I have to choose Mooney. Does he stay at 8 or above, or below 8? Hey, below 8. Immediately, I answer that. It's not that I think it's impossible, but like give me the. He's gonna be outside of the top 8, so drop. Whether he drops to 14. And he's got a big lead, so even if he was to tail off like a little bit more than even that, he would still hang out pretty high because he scored for a while. But I just think that if you're not going to be able to trade him at wide receiver 8. No one's buying Darnell Mooney at wide receiver 8 value. Right. But does his wide receiver 8 play get you top 15 to 18 wide receiver value in return right now? Maybe not even that still. It's wild. People don't want to buy into it. But I think if he drops off, if he starts playing like wide receiver 15, which is still amazing, then you're not getting wide receiver 15 value. You're getting probably wide receiver 25 value or whatever. So Mooney's somebody I would absolutely sell high. And it doesn't mean I hate him, I doubt him. I like him a lot. I think he'll continue to do well, but I absolutely sell him high because there's no way you're going to be able to sell him higher than right now.
Yeah, I figured it, and I just saw the ranking, and a lot of people hang on those rankings. So I thought, get your input, and if you kind of were seeing it the way I was, it's not a bad time to.
All right, hang tight.
Give them away, but like you said, it's a good move.
All right, hang tight real quick. Brooks got dropped. Is he worth a pickup? In a vacuum, no. It depends on your situation, Drama. I don't know what you're dealing with on your roster to drop for him, and so I can't answer that question without details. But I would say that he's been a hot topic of in tough spots like, hey, Smitty, I want to pick up Hopkins who just got dropped. Do I drop Brooks? This is my only. Yeah, go ahead and drop him. Go get Hopkins. Like those types of things. Like I can't advise you to keep Brooks if you're in dire straits and you have he's your worst player. Chuba Hubbard's the starter. He is basically, Brooks is no different than Charbonnet. Brooks is Charbonnet to Chuba Hubbard. That's it. There's no taking over the job this year. There's nothing. It's a value. It's a stash. It's a must cuff. Trade away Dell and Kyler for DK and Pacheco. You have Lamar. This is a great move for you because you don't need the quarterback. You're trading an asset that helps this individual. It's arguably a good trade for both of you. But for you, it helps your lineup way more than it helps them. And you might be getting a top 10, top 12 running back once Pacheco returns. So it's a home run trade for you. Absolutely crushed it. All right, John, you're live.
Thanks for taking the call, Smitty. Is Tyron Tracy the real deal, or has his success over the last 6 weeks been game script and matchup dependent? And if so, what's he worth in Dynasty? Second-round pick, third-round pick?
So he's the real deal as of this moment in time in terms of the physical part. Like when we watch him play, he plays amazing football. Problem is he had 2 huge mistakes in that overseas morning game on yesterday. I'm trying to remember what day it is. I think it's Monday. Yeah. So he had 2 massive, massive mistakes. I don't think that loses him the job, but this is the Giants who think Danny Dimes is their best quarterback. So to be honest with you, bro, I have no idea what those 2 grave mistakes are going to do for him. And if you didn't watch the game, it doesn't sound like you did. He caught a football, or he touched the football, was batted around. Him and a defender pinned it in between each other, and then he let the defender grab it. So basically, it was as though the ball was in his hands and the defender pulled it out of his hands and essentially intercepted the ball by just grabbing it out of his hands. Then it's like, okay, that was a horrible. Then he fumbles the football to really throw the game away. And so these are 2 grave turnovers near the end of the game not back to back, but it felt like it. And so he was on the sideline. His head was down. Teammates came up and patted him on the back. But you've got to wonder what's going to happen. And so there's a little bit of a concern there. Number 2, you're asking me about dynasty value, and he's a 25-year-old rookie running back. He's 25 years old, which is one of the older running backs. Ziggy, how old is Tyrone Tracy? I want to see his birthday.
Tyrone Tracy Jr. is 24 years old and was born on November 23rd, 1999.
Okay, so he turns 25 in a little over 10 days. So 2 weeks about. He turns 25 years old. That means next year he's turning 26, bro. Like that. Christian McCaffrey's 28. That's, you know what I mean? Like that. So dynasty, he's cooked. Like there's no. I would sell him. He's 20. He's going to be 25 years old. Eckler turned 28 last year and dropped off the face of the earth. McCaffrey turned 28 this year. I know Henry's 30. I know there's outliers, and I know there's something to be said about having a late start and you're going to be able to go a lot longer. I get all that. You know, that's why Mostert's been good at his older age. I get that, but the odds of that all happening are harder to imagine. So I like Tracy from a redraft perspective. I love him this year. But we're also looking, like I said, into a situation we don't know how it's going to look on the other side from these turnovers alone. And then he's 25 years old in 2 weeks. That's crazy in Dynasty. You can't bank on a 25-year-old running back, I think, in Dynasty as a rookie. But that's me.
Appreciate it, Smitty.
Yeah, and bro, you could go trade a nice, do a nice 2-for-1 or trade him for a draft pick upgrade. It's wild.
But you definitely wouldn't be like trying to acquire him.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Mr. TD, I just explained his age. I don't know why you're even speaking about it. He says Tracy's 24. Smitty. I just explained the whole thing to you. Clean your ears out. All right, John. John, appreciate it. Later, John. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you boys think differently about Tracy because he has less mileage, but I even looking up his college stats. Let me pull up Tracy.
Tyrone. Well, he was a wide receiver before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that could factor, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, you give him an extra year, maybe.
His college stats are as follows. Let me read those off. Mute yourself if you could, Mike, please, and I'll come to you in a second.
I got it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Tyrone Tracy. Let's see here. Let me see if I can pull up his college stats. 1 second. Let me see if I can put them up. So, stats. NCAA. So, the guy played 6 college seasons. 4 of them at Iowa, 2 of them at Purdue. Obviously, was redshirted some. His carries, he had 113 carries in 2023 at Purdue. He had 17 the year prior. So his mileage is so low. I mean, even though he's played a lot of years, his mileage is very, very low. The problem is, though, that also tells me another red flag, that he doesn't have the pedigree to hold up and withstand the workload that a 25-year-old body is being asked to do that a 22-year-old body can barely do. So if you wanted me to get technical here, I would say the odds of Tracy being an elite player for 4, 5, 6 years at the NFL level is slim to none. Slim to none. Because number one, he's 25 years old in 2 weeks. And number two, he doesn't have the track record. He's never carried the ball 200 times. He's never had consecutive seasons with over 17 carries. There's zero chance, almost zero chance, that he would be able to be an every down back for multiple years at the NFL level. There's just no way. You have to have some sort of track record of the running back being able to endure massive hits and take the abuse that a running back takes. And this goes back to Antonio Gibson. This goes back to every other player we have ever given a pass for not having a college track record. You can't do it. There's just no examples anymore of where a running back comes out of college with no resume at all. No high carry totals at all. And they just join the NFL, become an NFL running back, and start carrying the ball 200 times a season for 5, 6, 7 straight seasons. It's not happening. This guy is 17. Huh? What?
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying, like, Antonio Gibson's another one. That's all.
That's what I was saying. That's what I said earlier. Saying Antonio Gibson is the prime example of it. Of what we all gave Antonio Gibson a pass, and then because he didn't come out of college with even receptions. He came out of college with nearly zero, practically, reception totals and rushing totals. And the Washington Commanders ran him or Washington Redskins at the time ran him as their starting running back. And after one rookie year, it looked like it was gonna be something, an outlier. And then boom, he fell apart. Like, there's Tracy, just with no college track record and being 25 years old. How in the hell is this guy going to endure running back volume at the NFL level for years and years and years? It's not going to happen. All right. Anything else? Let's see here. Mike from Atlanta. What's up, Mike?
What up, Smitty? Quick thing, man. Could you ask the chat if they would trade BTJ for Warren and Pacheco?
BTJ for Warren and Pacheco? For Jalen Warren?
Jalen Warren.
Okay. Chat, you heard him. Jalen Warren and
Pacheco.
Yeah, Jalen Warren and Pacheco for BT. Right? Or the other way around?
No, that's right. I will be sending my BTJ for Pacheco and Warren.
Yeah. We want my answer or no?
Well, yeah. What you say
Okay.
to me, baby?
I would probably say, do you need an RB? Like, is an RB more important than the receiving
All
part?
right, so I got Cook and Brees at RB.
And you got Ray Davis, and do you have Braylon Allen?
I have Ray Davis and I have Brooks.
Okay, what about Braylon Allen?
I don't have Braylon Allen.
Is he available?
I let him go in the earlier trade, early in the year.
Is he available? Did someone drop him?
No, he's not available.
Okay, that would make it a little easier to not have the Pacheco side. All right, I mean that make it easier. But knowing that, I kind of like a little bit the idea of having Pacheco. But at the same,
receiver,
but
receiver, I have JJ, Mooney, and Evans coming back.
Yeah. But at the receiver side, I would say I still think BT, like at the end of the day, BT is going to have tremendous value again, because the one thing that it almost holds true without fail. This is Smitty's rookie graph. Okay. And this is literally almost without fail. A great wide receiver, a great rookie wide receiver will always have, little bits of peaks and valleys, right? But they'll always hit a rookie wall, almost always. Now, sometimes that rookie wall is 1 game thick. Sometimes it's 1 to 2 games thick. Sometimes it's literally 5 games thick. It's a thick rookie wall. Jamar Chase went through a brutal, 4-week, it was a month straight or more, rookie wall where he's just driving through it. He's used to this college season, right? That's when it typically happens after about weeks 1 through 11, 12. I
got a question for you.
Well, hold on. Do you want me to answer the question, or do you want me to waste what I just did? You want me to just erase the board?
No,
I'm in the middle of talking.
Not at all.
Okay.
Guy.
So
I do have a valid point, though.
Okay, but can you let me finish my point? Like, everyone's waiting for what I'm about to say here, and you're like, let me just wipe the board, Smitty. Okay, so when you get to this rookie wall, however thick it is, my rookie chart is this. The great ones, the great rookie wide receivers, they bust through the wall, bro. They bust through the wall almost every time. And they go on a tear. So that means when BT's done getting through his rookie wall, he is going to explode if he's a great one. And we'll know if he is based on what he does, unless he gets banged up or something. Jamar Chase did it. It's very, very typical for great rookie receivers to finish on a tear. Go ahead and interrupt me now. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Nah, don't want to interrupt. You. I agree with you. But Jamar Chase had Joe Burrow throwing to him. BTJ has Matt Jones.
Well, you've already made your decision then. You've already made your decision then. I could say whatever I want to say about it. You're against BT in this, so just trade him. Go get Pacheco.
No.
I think it's arguable.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to hold on to him.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Later. Why call? You're not. A, you don't even want me to finish. B, you're not. I'm not even done. You're not even listening, and you just go off. I mean, why do you even call? This is like the guy that goes on Shark Tank. They give him the best offer in the world. He's like, nope. I just wanted to come on Shark Tank. Just wanted to self-promote my team. I mean, BT. Look, I like Pacheco and BT. I could argue either side. I could get behind either side. Anyway. All right, let me go to Rock Out. Rock Out, you got any final thoughts? I'm gonna pack it in.
Yeah, I got a trade offer for my Shakir for BTJ.
BTJ, based on everything you just heard me say.
And as far as Hill, what running back would you try to get for him if you try to go 5 positions?
For Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, like a running back. Going for
Walker, all those RBs we listed off when we were talking about this. Let me see if I can pull up a few of them again.
Yeah, Jacobs, Chuba.
Yeah, Jacobs is fantastic. Who's the one I loved when I came across? James Cook.
Yep, that's one.
James Cook could be a league winner. You know what I love about James Cook is that Josh Allen. Look, Josh Allen's going through like a little bit of like there's turnover in Buffalo. Like, you know, there's not a lot of consistency, and he actually sat down and met with James Cook, I think the night before the game, like to get like, you know, on the same page to make sure, because I think he doesn't have a lot that he can trust right now. I think James Cook might be a league winner. I think James Cook with Ray Davis, though. Ray Davis is so important because Ray Davis would be the league winner. It's whichever one's in there. But I think you have the duo, you have the security of that it is the Buffalo running back that could be the league winner. I especially at the cost of entry. If I'm wrong, it doesn't lose you a league or anything. You just get the value you paid for and you're fine. You get you wash. It's even. Like no harm, no foul. But if I'm right, I think you can win a league off of it. But you have to have Ray Davis. But the duo is a potential league winner. James Cook, Buffalo. Do it live.
I appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. Let's see. Sam from Sacramento, and then I'll go to Travis and end the phone line. Go ahead, Sam. And actually, real quickly, Sam, one second, Sam. Kupp and Achane lost to the LA kicker, Hassan said. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, it wasn't. Look, this is not a time to panic on H. I'm not saying you would, Hassan, but some people out there are going to be like, do we get rid of Achane now? Do we get rid of Kyren now? Do we knee-jerk react and become a reactive Roger and trade these guys? What do we do with Kyren? What do we do with Achane? Like, come on. You know, look at anybody that had an amazing. Let's take a look at last year. Let's take a look at who can we look at? Let's take a look at Josh Allen last year. Okay, Josh Allen last year. 20 QB 20. in week 1. This guy was the number 1 overall quarterback in 2023. Exploded past everybody. He was a top 6 QB 10 times. He was a top 10 QB in all but 3 games. He was a top 10 QB in all but 3 games. He ran for 15 touchdowns, 524, threw for 4,300 yards, had 29 passing touchdowns. Okay? And look at him. QB 13, QB 15, QB 17, QB 20. It happens. It happens. You look at Kyron Williams last year during his amazing stretch where he was a top 5 running back in 6 games. That's 50% of the time. Kyron Williams is a top 10 running back 8 times, 67% of the times. He was still running back 28 one week. He was still running back 31, running back 18. It happens. Nobody should be freaking out at all about Kyron himself or anybody else that has a bad game that we know was a great player. So just to put that out there. Okay, go ahead, Sam. Appreciate you. You're live.
Yeah, I'll tell you what to do with Kyron and Achane. You stick them in your lineup and you don't need to sweat.
That's right.
My question to you, Smitty, is Debo or DK the rest of the season? Who you got, man?
Debo. The reason I say Debo is because Debo's in a better offense. I think there's going to be less up and downs. I think that Debo was utilized in a way that makes me feel comfortable with the end result of Week 10. I know it didn't look as good as we wanted. I think DK is very intriguing. To be honest with you, I kind of think I could go back and forth on it. It's close, but I'd say Debo. I really think Debo's going to go on a tear. I truly believe that. I think he's emotional right now. He's got his passion, for the game fired up and cooking. And I think DK, there's still a little bit, even though Debo's an injury risk himself, there's still a little bit of unknowns with DK's injury. And for that reason alone, given they're even Steven for me, I'm going to go with the guy that has the better offense, that is the cemented in wide receiver 1 by far and away. I know Jennings and Pearsall did well, but Debo's the number 1 option by far and away, even over McCaffrey in a sense, because McCaffrey, they're still needing to be somewhat careful with him, even though they overused him already. I think that Debo is the play, but you could easily make arguments, my guy.
Would you be comfortable then if you had like a top 3 quarterback to just trade like a Tank Dell and like a Kyler Murray for a Debo Samuel? If you're good at the quarterback position and you're trying to upgrade wide receiver?
And you're not using Kyler? Sure. Of course.
Yeah, he's just right in the bench.
Yeah, that's 101. That's like getting rid of your excess and improving your lineup, of course.
Okay, well, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, later, bro. Leo says, Smitty, stop flip-flopping. Okay, Leo. Leo, stop going in timeout. Jaden, Gino, running back Henry, Walker, Bucky, Warren, Brooks, Lamb, Hill, London, McLaurin, Myers. Any moves? 4 and 6. First in points for, but second in points against. That's rough when that happens, and you can't really. What you got to determine in that situation is like, hey, I've had a rough go. I need to make sure I'm not detouring too much from what I have that's working. You don't want to screw yourself just because it's like the changing lanes on the freeway example. You're in a slow lane, the lane next to you on the freeway is zipping by, and you're like, let me get in that lane. You get in that lane, then the lane you were in starts zipping by, and you keep getting in the wrong lane. You got to be careful. But let's look at the team. I haven't even looked at it yet. Let's dissect it. Let's see. Henry, Walker, Bucky, Warren, Brooks. Okay, so there's not a lot of depth here, but Bucky's interesting depth. And Jaden Daniels, I think, starts to improve in fantasy scoring. Similar to the rookie Wall, he's not hitting it in terms of like losing or anything like that, but like he's hitting it. His body's, used to a college season, and he might step it up like a wide receiver does. I really think Jaden Daniels starts scoring a lot more touchdowns as they just start. They've been kind of play calling in ways to keep him efficient, protect him, etc. And I think they start opening it up a little bit. Lamb, Hill, London, McLaurin. This is a tough team because Henry and Walker and Jaden Daniels is great. I actually really like Walker as a buy low, and I think Walker can do great down the stretch. But This is tough because Hill and Lamb are the two concerned wide receivers that were, you've got London and McLaurin. That's fantastic. I would try and maybe move Lamb and something on the bench like Bucky or Brooks or whatever. Lamb or Hill, move one of them to try and go get one of those running backs that's now doubted in the Gibbs, the Breece Hall. I think somebody that owns Breece Hall is panicked in an intrigued way to go after another panicked player, because you're looking to exchange the risk level that you're tired of holding Hall if you've got him, let's say, and you're intrigued by, okay, well, that's different risk. Let me go over there. It's like one person changing one bad relationship for a new one. They just think, well, that bad one might fit better. Like, yeah, I'm attracted to fire. Let me go find that fire. It's the same thing. Like, you think that Steve, who has Breece Hall right now, is not going to go get into another fiery situation? So try and maybe get out of the wide receiver aspect of this risk with Lamb or Hill and try and get into a Breece Hall. I think obviously, I would take Gibbs. I would take any of those guys as well. And honestly, this is gonna be a little risky because you just got this position, I think, firing off in TJ Hawkinson, but people are desperate for a tight end. It makes people do weird trades. If you could find a Hunter Henry or a Kraft or somebody on waivers that is an acceptable replacement, I'm not saying they're going to be as good, but acceptable, then maybe you're using Hawkinson and Lamb to get the safer Lamb, the safer lateral version of Lamb. So you get JJ or something like that could work. Hill, I'd be tempted to do the same thing with Hill. I'd be tempted to go get Debo. So you're trading one of them for an RB, one of them for a receiver. I think Debo for Hill, DK, Evans, all those names that I listed off, I'd probably go in that direction, Eli. I appreciate your super chat. Travis, what else did you have to add and anything else before I jump out of here?
Yeah, just on Chuba, would you try to trade him and upgrade, or would you just be riding out after the bye? You got a really easy schedule. Like, would you take a chance on a Breece if you could get into him, or
yes.
do you just? I mean, Hubbard's been so good. You still believe in Breece?
I would take Hall. Give me more names.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, list off some guys.
See, running back. I guess it would have to be past him. Cook.
I would take Cook. I like Chuba. I'm not saying this isn't debatable, but when push comes to shove, I think Cook is a league winner.
Okay. And how about like Connor or Monty?
Man, that's where we start really like seeing what Chuba's value is.
Okay.
I'd rather have Chuba over Connor by a little bit. I mean, Connor's still very good, but I probably would.
Yeah, it's close.
And Chuba for Monty, oh man. Chat, what would you rather have, Monty or Chuba? That's tough.
I think I'm leaning Chuba right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Monty can go off at any time and get that.
I guess it does still come down to, like, if it's close enough, though, is the situation, are we going to be saying Carolina sucks? Like, I can't deal with this. Like, there's no opportunities, and we're hating Chuba's value later. Like, this is a struggle between who is good in past tense, who's been better. Chuba's been unreal. But we got to look forward. You're not losing any of the Chuba points that you had if you own them and you're trading them. But if I'm trading Chuba away now, while Brooks is coming back to take a little bit, but he's not taking the job, it's Chuba's job. Is Monty safer moving forward? Just moving forward.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I go with the offense. 9 times out of 10, if it's close enough, I want an offense that's getting me near the end zone. But I could understand.
That's a good point.
I could understand people wanting Chuba though, and I would not send anybody on a lap being on either side of this argument.
He's I think he's on bye this week. So, and I have him in a couple leagues, so I'm kind of trying to decide, do I let him go in one league, hold him in another? So I just want your input, but appreciate it.
I have a Chuba Hubbard video I wanted to pull up that during his rookie year. I loved him as a rookie.
Yeah, and he's improved too. You can tell he's worked on everything he's got. I mean, he wasn't awful last year, but his yards per carry wasn't great, and he's just been consistent. He can catch it too.
Yeah, let me see if I can find. I'm gonna see if I can find this mock draft video that I did on Chuba. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'd be curious. Let me see what I said. It's always let's see. Chuba. I don't know. I'll have to find it. I'll find it later and put it up. All right, we'll see you later, bro.
All right, thanks, man.
Later. All right, guys, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Let me see if I have any more super chats that are lingering real quickly. We've got Danny, 7-3, 12 team, Mahomes, Kyron, Gibbs, Chase, or is that Jamar Chase? Wow. Mahomes, Kyron, Gibbs, Jamar Chase, MHJ, Tillman, JSN, Tracy, Worthy, Ferguson. Love this team. Any moves? How can I get Cook or Debo? I think, probably through Tracy and JSN or MHJ and Tracy. So would I trade any one of them individually for Debo or Cook? Yes. So I trade Tracy or MHJ or Tillman with any one of MHJ or Tracy for Debo or Cook. Absolutely. Would I get crazy and say, yeah, I'll give you MHJ and Tracy for Cook? Maybe. You have the depth to kind of do it. But I'd almost want something back. I'd be much more comfortable going Tracy and JSN and keeping MHJ, like for Cook or Debo. But honestly, Tracy might have earned this move, and I think JSN may have helped get enough value to get this done. I think it's doable, Danny. I would try it. Would I do both? For Debo or Cook, would I give up both MHJ and Tracy? I don't know. Seems like a little too much. If it was a 2-for-2 and they threw somebody in that I liked, I might do it. All right, guys, my voice is shot. Appreciate every single one of you super chatters and commenters and callers, and hit that thumb up button on the way out the door. Don't forget about the Patreon, which is pinned in the live chat right now. I'll drop the link in the description again right now. Here's the link. Our Patreon is off the hook. It's basically a live chat is really all it is. But it's 365, 24/7 live chat. And we're just in there chatting constantly, and especially during games. But here's the link right now. I'll probably go over there and hang out for a little bit. Let me see if I can get this to paste. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, there it is. Join the Patreon. Come on. It's not. I think I need to restart my computer anyway. All right, so get on over to the Patreon. It's pinned in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. $10 a month, but cancel anytime. It's the best place to chat and have fun and talk to your fellow live streamers that are the live stream chat that you talk to in the live streams every day. The useful, helpful people that are just absolutely selfless in the live chat. Everybody that you see in the live chat's over on the Patreon practically. 50% match on your first deposit using the Underdog code Smitty. That link is in the description of the video. I'll see you all later. I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. I'm also additionally live when big news breaks. We go live a lot of graveyard shifts like this one right here. An additional live stream. Anytime there's a game, we go live after to talk about it, etc., etc. I'll see you all later. We have one more super chat real quickly. This one's from BT. BT says, Reed or Pickens rest of season, and would you trade either for Monty plus Amari? I would rather have Monty and Amari, really not Amari, but Monty, as the main piece over Reed. I would. So I guess I'd rather have Pickens rest of season and then trade Reed for Monty. Thank you, BT. Appreciate your super chat.
Hi, my name is B. John Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get Bijan.